Hey guys, it's 8 o'clock. I know you all been waiting for this. It's been a crazy day getting ready for this and making all my notes, and I've got everything printed out here and all these sheets in. For those of coming in for the first time, this is nothing like flashy. I don't have no special guests this time. Just me and you guys hanging out, talking about WoW Classic, plans for what we got for the guild and stuff like that. I'm going to turn the music off though, because I think that's going to distract me since it's so awesome. But it's good to see so many awesome people in here, like right away. I'm going to put some kind of a slideshow on for you guys while we have the show here. So I hope you guys are doing well today. By the way, I'm Hobbit Bilbo Man slash Wobblecog, guild leader of Random Encounter, and I know there's a lot of people in the guild, and also some maybe not in the guild. They're like, kind of wondering, wait, what's this all about? Basically, it's where we get together, we talk about the game, the guild, and just kind of my different views on stuff. You can always ask questions, and I'm always open to having new discussion on new topics too if they kind of slip in there on us while we're chatting. Thank you so much to everyone coming in early. That was awesome. Some really good music, by the way. Kind of really brought back some awesome memories, didn't it? Ooh, there's a picture from Alpha. If you have never seen him, pretty ridiculous how far the game's come. So, all right, let me just move a couple things over. Thanks to Bright and Mythanaeus, Servo, who is Calgor, with 514, who is Ether, a bunch of other. What? Gifted 5 subs out. Bright. Bright just gifted 5 subs out. That means we have to hear this song 5 times. Thank you so much, Bright. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you very much. Hey, I think it's worth it though. And you get a nice little box, like present box next to you before we get going. So, sorry about the song. We're going to have to hear this a few times, but. Okay, Coach Agar, what's up? And remember, anyone that just got a sub from Bright, that means you get all my emotes. So you get the random encounter emote here on Twitch, as well as all my Hobbit emotes, and you can use those in any channel. So, only 2 more times we have to hear this song, then we'll get going on the thing. Oh, while this is going off, I wanted to take some time to show you some of the merchandise. You can get it. You can type !merch, all one word, in the chat. And you can get, like here's our coffee cup with the Guild Crest on it. Works real nice. Really good. Check it out at the Guild store. Also, I wanted to show you guys the pillow. I had picked one of these up. These are really nice. They came out real nice. Thought you guys would, again, it's really good quality too. I didn't think it was going to be this nice, but yeah, it came out really good. All right, there's the end of those songs. Thank you so much, Bright, for all the gift subs. But here's a random encounter pillow. Yep, these are really good. And if you're, we have T-shirts as well. And for the winter, I know the summer's still in full season, but for the winter, remember these help our website keep going and get us prizes for the guild and stuff like that. But for the winter, we got the random encounter hoodie. Really nice quality, really warm. Really good, yeah. And then I was very surprised again. The quality is really good. Streamlabs always does good work. So yeah, those are some of the things that we have available for you if you're looking to get on board with the random encounter swag train. A muscle tank? I think I can get one of those. Yeah, they're really. I love them. Yeah. So let's get started on the topics again. This is really like we don't. It's just like a fireside chat between us, So let's Yeah, apparently my house is in the slideshow. Well, you can all see where the Shire live, where I am. Hey, Losins, how you doing? Valentus, oh, hey, what's going on? Welcome, Lucina, and everyone else. So let me get started. The first topic that people wanted me to chat about, and again, you guys can always chat me up about it while I'm in here, and I'll try to give as best I can my thoughts on things. So the first thing is the stress test. Stress test is coming up. I think it's been re-announced for August 8th. I think it's August 8th and 9th. It's basically going to be the same as the last one where you're going to be able to level up to level 15 and then um, check the game out a lot. I've been in every stress test that the game's had that we've had for the game so far. I'd like to talk a little bit about it. The previous ones. Most of my interests were how the UI was set up because I kind of forgot about that, and I wanted to see how like it looked, and I wanted to see if I could customize it. And it was good to get back in and actually check all that out. So that was good to do. But my main thing that I wanted to do in the stress test was look in the guild menu system because that was something that I didn't remember. And the first thing I did when I logged into WoW Classic on the stress test was I went, "Oh, I want to get into the guild." So we made the guild, got everything going and everything, and I was like, "I want to check out what's going on in the guild." J, because in retail, that's how you get into the guild screen. Well, guess what? J doesn't do anything in that. You have to actually hit O to go into your social screen, and then you have to click the guild button. So that was a new thing. And the guild menus are really, really dumbed down. And hey, Adamo, what's up? Just doing a little fireside chat for WoW Classic. Yeah, I don't know if you can keybind it or not. All I know is like, oh, guild, and then I went into the menus and I was like, ooh, this is really, it's bare bones. There's just not a lot. What I did notice about it was, hey, Moxie, good to see you too. What I noticed about um, the guild menu was that I I wanted to see how the ranks worked, right? Uh, hey, voice, what's up? I wanted to see how the ranks worked because I wanted to see, oh, well, I want to set up some ranks and get used to doing that for when the game comes out. So I went in and I I was like, I'll set some ranks up, and I didn't do them in order. Well, guess what? You got to do them in order. So when you set it up, you have to set so whatever you want the second rank. Like for us, it would be Marshall, which would be Canicus's rank. You got to make it so when you make all the ranks, you actually literally have to make them in order. You can't switch them up and down. And I found that incredibly annoying. But so anytime, say we add a new rank, we'll actually have to redo that rank and everything below it. And I think you can have up to 7 or 8 ranks. I'm not sure on the limit or anything like that. So yeah, that's I found that interesting. As far as gameplay, the game felt really good. The graphics update, I didn't think I was gonna like that they updated the graphics, but I ended up really liking that. What I and you know what else I found? I remembered, and I guess I didn't realize it when I first played like vanilla. Um, was I went to go do I went to go do just questing around, just doing stuff, right? And I'm like, man, this game is really relaxing. Like Vanilla WoW just felt really relaxed. I felt like I felt super relaxing to a point I almost got like almost put me to sleep, and not in a bad way. Like it was kind of cool. I died a few times and that was fine, but overall, I felt the game was really well put together. I didn't really run into any bugs, but I guess I'm not the kind of person that sees that stuff very often. So other than that, so coming up with the current one, I'm gonna recheck out. I'm gonna try to set up all the ranks right when we're gonna do the same. So when the new stress test comes out on the 8th, my goal is to do the same thing we would do if vanilla had launched. Get everyone does the starting zone, gets to Iron Forge, and do it like we would do it, kind of a dry run. And then I want to try to get the ranks set up. And I think what we're going to do, we'll discuss it in the guild meeting. We're actually going to have all the guild members line up outside the visitor center in Ironforge in a line, and then outside the door and down the stairs, and actually have me and Canicus in seats, and you have to come up to the table and like sign the guild book. It's kind of like an RP thing. Might take a while, but I thought it would look really cool to anyone coming into Ironforge. Like, wow, where's that line coming from? And state your name, da da da. And I think I think it's a cool idea. But we'll go over that more in the guild meeting that's coming up on the 11th. I thought it's a good idea. It might not work. I don't know. Some people may be like, I'm in a hurry, but whatever. Um, as far as the guild did really good during the stress test. We had Oh, there was. I think we ended. The highest we had was about 30 people get into the guild during the stress test, and it was good. I found that people helped each other. People were active. People that were craft testing out the crafting system were really good at getting other players things. I got to level 15. I know there was a group that tried to get into Razorfen. No, what's the one in Orgrimmar? I know they tried a death run to get to the instance in over Orgrimmar, and time kind of ran out. Ragefire Chasm. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And time sort of ran out, you know. But very soon we'll be able to actually play. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I took from the stress test because I felt that I don't know, I felt that the stress test went really well, and that yeah, I thought it was good. Is it okay? Are you guys cool with me just chatting, or do you want me to put some like low, relaxing music on while I chat? I don't know. It's up to you guys. I just was wanted to ask. And the community was, of course, amazing. I know a lot of people have joined the guild and have not really been active because they're like not active in the current product. So that kind of it's been like put a little line between. That's the only thing I'm concerned about is the people that are playing retail and coming on Discord are separated kind of not a lot, right? People are still in the forums, but there's sort of like a small divide between the people that join the guild and then are like, well, now I'm just gonna wait, and the people that were like, oh, I want to get jump right in. So I'm hoping that we'll finally be able to come all together, and I want the people that have been playing already and chatting with each other to like really embrace those that haven't been with the community and in Discord and chatting live and stuff like that. I think once we do that, that things will come together. And it's nice to see some people I that I interviewed way back in February is finally starting to like I see them come online on Discord and make a post or two as well, and I think that's awesome. So really, yeah, I think this stress test might bring some more people out, especially on character creation night as well. I love how my house is just kind of in the picture thing. Maybe I need to reset that next time. And see some pictures from my strategy guide as well. So that's it. What questions do you guys have for the stress test? Either from the ones I've already been in or any of them coming up. And I'm willing to take any questions you guys have. Um, as far as that goes, because we'll have the stress test and we'll have the guild meeting like right after that. Then it's going to be character creation. So things are going to start really moving. Then 2 weeks after character creation, we're in the game. So it's not long now. This project that started around Christmas of 2018 is finally coming to fruition. By the way, started right here in this stream while I was playing Final Fantasy 12. I believe was when the first talk of the guild came up. Is it crazy to think that it was during near around Christmas of last year that we've some people have been around since then. But all right, so it looks like there's no questions. I can always come back to them as far as this subject. So I'm just gonna move on for here. State of the game. It's really hard for me to judge this because if you know me as a guild master and you've only known me from random encounter, it's it's hard for me to talk about the state of the game because there's different it's what I there's a state of the game for the guild, right? And then there's a state of the game from what I watch every other like all the other people doing that aren't in the guild and the YouTube and Twitch and Reddit and whatever else. And so I guess I'll start with like PvE because I want to touch on each of them. Like so PvE. And there's nothing against. I have nothing against people. I want people to. I think people should be able to play the game they want to, how they want to play it. But I know there's a lot of people really, really rushing to rush through the levels. Hey Dragoon, what's going on? Yeah, I know it's just a fireside chat, but we're doing something. At least that's good, right? It's good to see you too, Dragoon. So there's the people that just want to rush right through the levels and then get to raiding. And I think that's the major part of PvE. I mean, obviously, they're the people that want to, like us, that want to stop, smell the roses, enjoy the game. Like, that's what I want to do. And, yeah, the people that want to rush into Molten Core and just blast through it, I feel like doing so will will really hurt their experience with the game because if they rush and let's just say they beat, let's see Ragnaros goes down in the third or fourth week, then what? Then what? Now you've completely ruined the entire point of playing. So now you've beaten it, and all you're doing is waiting for the next content drop. And why don't you, at that point, why not just go play retail? At least in my opinion. But I think at the current, so there's a lot of talk about people beating Ragnaros in like a week or two or something like that. And while I think it's something that I I guess I don't think that it's possible. 3 weeks I can see. I can see a Ragnaros kill in 3 weeks, maybe four, but I don't see it in week one or two. I mean, just the mathematics behind that is absolutely insane to even think. Yeah. I just don't I just it maybe like maybe, but you're talking about 40 people going at record pace and all keeping on that world record pace, and then having to gear up to be able to even get through. It's yeah, I think burnout is definitely yeah. Jay Servo has it right there. That's a highly definite possibility. PvP, not a lot to say about PvP since it's really not. I mean, obviously there's going to be the PvP servers will have open world PvP, and I think that's just part of the game for those people. I'm interested to see. Hey, Resden, what's going on? I'm interested to see how the how competitive the battle so once the ranking system comes out, the PvP ranking system, like the that's it's going to be interesting to see how much it'll take to rank up on like we're going to be on a role playing server, so the competition for the higher ranks for PvP will be very very low. There won't be it just won't be as competitive. There will be some people, I'm sure, and guess what? The top players usually group together. Yeah. Usually, what would happen, and this is just from my speaking. I was a pretty top tier player back in the day. I did make rank 13. I was a field marshal. So the way my group did it was, we would we would PvP together, and then one person per week, we made sure they got the most honor. Like we like almost tallied it up, and we made sure that person was the one that was going to make rank 14, and then they didn't play the next week to make sure that they would drop in the next. So it was almost like a rotating door, and I kind of just burnt out right at the end. I think BC came out, and I just yeah. But it was just interesting to see. That's how we did it. Um, but we'll see. I mean, I think my goal is in with the guild at least is to have a competitive PvP thing, and I think I'm going to touch on that later. So I think somebody asked a question about that. When we get to question and answer part of the show, I will. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's where I was. I was doing that on Feather Moon, I believe, Certain. So yeah, I remember there was some really awesome people on Feather Moon that I used to run with. Actually, there was there's a guy you've probably heard of him, Swifty. A lot of people don't realize Swifty was originally on Feathermoon for a very short time. A lot of people don't realize that. So I did play. I used to play with Swifty very briefly, but I did play with him very briefly, and he was kind of never talked actually back then. At least if I remember, I'm almost positive it was him. But yeah, I know now he's like a freaking PvP god. He's amazing, great player. So, all right, so that's the PvP thing. And we got a while till that happens. And I think yeah, I think a good way if you want to make early, if you want to get the best time. So here's some advice: if you want to make early like Grand Marshal, um, the best way to do it is before the battlegrounds come out. You need to run. You run with a group of like 20 people or whatever, and you force a world PvP battle at Terran Mill, and you run with a huge group, and you just smosh everybody that comes in, and that's the best way to do it before, because then you can you're guaranteeing yourself kills and stuff like that. Yeah. Yep, there it is. That's what I think. That's what I think about it. PvP, RP. I really think I'm part of a role playing Discord on for Classic, and I think there'll be a good community for it. I'm excited for the events that we have. Uh, oh yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna. By the way, just stepping back to PvP a second, like Moxie says, we are gonna wreak havoc on Terran Mill when that all goes. I'm fully committed to absolutely obliterating that place into the ground. As far as, but moving now into RP, I think there'll be a really, really good, uh, really Stranglethorn Viet. Oh shit! Yeah, I know, right? So I think there'll be a really good RP community on in Classic, and I know our guild is gonna. We already have RP events set up for the first 2 months. Our first guild meeting is going to be right near Goldshire, and where they set up the Dark Moon Fair now, like that little grassy area by the T intersection. And I think people are going to see our name, and I think the RP events might help bring in some good RPers. I think we'll have a good crew that does it. I like light RP where it's kind of like it just flows naturally. I'm not big into like setting up like a whole scene. It's like or like where it's like, oh, we're to school and you go to this, you're part of this people, and it's like, gosh, just let it happen naturally. Where they have to set everything up, that's just too much for me. Too much for me. I just like to get in, play, that's it. So, like where it's just happening. By the way, for those wondering, our for our guild, it's kind of weird, right? How is the guild talking to each other? And so we've come up with the ingenious idea that our hearthstones are walkie-talkies, and that's how we can all talk to each other through guild chat. That's the best thing I could come up with. So that's the RP. Yeah. Boy, and so someone had suggested that I talk about kind of. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to try Classic, and there's a lot of people who think they want to play it, and I know Blizzard said this, but there's a lot of people that think they want to play it, but they really don't. They're going to get in there, and it's going to be like, the tourists. We're going to get a ton of tourists.
Try little old Toby.
Huh.
It'll help settle you
Well, that Glozens. Welcome to the Hobbit Hole. Welcome to the Shire. And while you're here, don't be a fool of a took. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to the community. Um, yeah, so I think that a lot of people are going to try the game. I think there's going to be a lot of people uh, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it. There's a lot of people that are in the guild, and it's just percentages, not a lot, excuse me, but a small percentage, excuse me, of people that are in the guild that are there. They're going to play for a little bit, and then they'll fall off. They don't want to play anymore, and that's okay. We want to, as long as they give it a honest try. It happens. Like, the game isn't for everybody. There's a lot of games that I thought I was going to get totally into. Bought the Super Deluxe Platinum Double Disc Steelbook, ultra high 4 foot box thing with the figurine in it, and you play it for like 3 hours, and you're like, okay, never touching it again. I don't like it. It happens. So just be ready for that. I'm guessing 5 to 10% of the guild will just kind of disappear. But it just happens. That's just how math works. That's how statistics work, and I don't see it happening any other way. Um, the big thing I'm trying to avoid is us becoming a stepping stone guild with being. Oh, by the way, that picture is from the Encourage event, the one over there. Hopefully, when it comes around again, I'll try to notice it. But that was a picture I took during the AQ gate openings. So when I did it back on Rexar with Oracle. So, anyways, yeah, just statistics and outliers say that we will lose some, and that's fine. I understand that, and my hope is at least they would come to me and let the guild know that they weren't going to be playing anymore. But things happen. All right. So I didn't want to take too long on that. And again, just to double down on it, I want to say like, here's the problem, and I want to cut back to the PVE section again. Remember when I was talking about all the people raiding? Um, like raiding, trying to raid really quick. Hold on, I'm going to catch up with chat here. I have to keep people engaged. Yeah, well, we try to be. Well, that's sort of why, and I'm going to touch on this comment from Losens here for a second. By the way, I'm on as long as I need to be to get through the content I want to discuss tonight. So don't worry, we're not under time constraints. I want you guys to relax, get your, whoop, get yourself a cup of coffee in your random encounter coffee mug, and enjoy the evening while we're having a good chat here. So what I was saying is that okay, so you rush. So everyone's already they got their raid planned. They're all gonna like, we're gonna get there quickly. We're gonna kill Ragnaros, and we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna be the content killers of the world, right? Cool. You know what? That'll work for a little while. It'll work for a little while, and you might come out of the gate super hard, and you might look really good. But I think they're forgetting something. There's a big part of the game that a lot of people forget, especially about vanilla WoW, and that is relationship building. I can't talk about it enough, and that's kind of how our guild's set up, right? There's no there's no disconnect. We don't want to have disconnects between people. Obviously, not everyone's going to be totally getting along with everyone completely, but if you don't look at all into the connections that people are having and the type of people that you're trying to bring together to get something done, just like as in business or work or anything like that, if you bring people together that completely clash and don't get along or have different ideas about how things should go, at least to an extreme, and you have no ear to the ground for that, you're just looking for a disaster. That's how those. That's why a lot of times you hear about huge progression guilds breaking up. They do well for a while, and then all those little things just go smash, right? Hey, Isaac, someone gifted you a sub to the channel. And so you got the little ring. I think that's the human ring of power for anyone's got that blue ring. Uh, Man, so anyone that's got that blue ring, bright, gifted some stuff, you guys have emotes. Use them. Enjoy the emotes in the channel. That's what they're there for. Yeah. So if you're not planning for any kind of integration between each other. That's why those big progression guilds break up. Um, like, so my guess is Molten Core, you'll do okay, and then you might do well in Blackwing Lair, and then AQ40, things are going to start to drop off. The content gets really hard there. And I don't care what they say on Reddit or YouTube. It gets hard in AQ40. That is not an easy instance. Twin Emperors will destroy your guild. And that's the thing. You finally hit that boss that you can't beat. You can't muscle your way through it.
Try a little old
And
Toby.
you guys can't get along.
Loves letting
Oh,
me know.
Flippity Flu, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Hobbit Hole. Welcome to the Shire. And while you're here, don't be a fool of a took. Appreciate that. Flippity Flu with the follow. Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah. AQ40. AQ40, Valstraz, and Blackwing Lair, that's where guilds will get destroyed. People that, when they can't get along with each other, not a good combination when you have a bunch of people that aren't on the same wavelength. Nice. All right. So, yeah, that's what I think about. Like, if you're gonna do any kind of PVE content, you better make sure everyone's kind of on the same page personality wise. So, someone in the guild had asked me to talk a little bit about my vision. Boy, that can be a long, long, long discussion. I'm sure my officers have heard me talk ad nauseum about that. I've gone on for hours and hours about it. I'm sure they're just blue in the face listening to me talk about it. But let me talk about the game, my game vision, short term, long term, and then I'll go in a little bit about the guild that way too. So for myself personally, short term, my goal is I want to get my main character leveled up, not super fast, but fast, like at least somewhat quickly. I'm going to enjoy the content. I will try to read the quests as much as I can. Um, Now hear me out. Just listen. I know you're like, but Wobble, you're totally contradicting yourself. You said we got to stop and smell the roses. Yep. I think I gotta get. I want to get to 60 so I can um, have an easier time running the guild. If I'm out trying to level and do all that stuff, yeah. Now my plan as soon as I hit 60 is to start up an alt night. That's a big part of what I want to do. Bright's a gotta go fast person. I know that. So I want to start up an alt night. So once a week, I want to have a static alt night where you only log on those characters when all 5 people are together and you level on that one night. And that's where you really like enjoy like a lot of the dungeons and enjoy every little corner of the game. Make crafts all kind of intertwine with each other, so you always are able to gear each other completely. It's a really cool idea, and I think I'm really gonna like that when I do that. So that's my short term vision for that. Um, I'm gonna be doing tailoring enchanting. I never did that before, so that's gonna getting enchanting to 300 is gonna be an absolute major pain in the patoot for me. But I'm looking forward to it full time. I've gone away from the alchemy herbalism thing. We have a lot of those in the guild, and I'm excited to try some new things with my mage. Especially trying a new like build for leveling. I'm very excited about that. Long term, for those of you who don't know, I've made the PowerPoints on the website about Molten Core, the first raid. I'm excited to raid. I am a raider at heart. For those of you who don't know, I did finish all the way through Nax during vanilla. Uh, Unfortunately, it took a heavy toll on my life and my physical and mental health, and it was pretty brutal. I was raiding probably 60 hours a week plus working. So I know you're trying to add up the math and try to get sleep in. Think 3 to 4 hours a night of sleep every night for almost like a year and a half. It was really really bad for me. So that's like no more. We're cutting that. That's not happening. So uh, long term, I want to make sure that the that I'm being a good raid leader. Um, I'm going to be in tune with my co-raid leaders and my class leaders, and making sure that we're all on the same page and there's no infighting, and we all understand what the needs of each class are. That's one thing as a personal thing is I want to make myself the best guild leader. Hold on. And raid leader, pardon me, that I can be for the guild. So on a personal level and on the guild level. So those are my goals for the game. Maybe see a little bit more of the of Kalimdor. I didn't get to quest a lot out there, so I'm kind of excited to quest out there a little bit. And yeah, excited to just lead some of these raids because I was a class leader during vanilla, so I'm moving up from there. Oh, we have a question for later. Reeling the live stream soon and have a question for further up. The question is, what are your plans regarding the casual and full-time raiders? Is it still one raid or different raid teams based on plenty of people? Oh, well, I can talk about that. I think I usually cover that in interviews. But so right now the plan is, and if you haven't gone to the raid spreadsheet, you should go there. It's pretty awesome, by the way. Isaac God helped set that up. So here's my current. This is the current plan in the guild. Obviously, things change based on situations. But as of now, the idea is um, our core or full time raiders should equal out about somewhere between 23 to 28, 20 to 30, somewhere in there, full time raiders. Those and not every full time raider will show up every single time, right? You have to to be a full time raider and keep it, you got to be show up to 75% of the raids. If you fall off from that, you'll become a casual raider, and it can turn around for a casual raider who all of a sudden is able to make a bunch of raids. That's another thing. So the goal is for the core raiders, they're going to be there most of the time, almost all the time, and they're the bare minimum you need, almost pretty much the bare minimum you need to make sure you're clearing content. Then the casual raiders, um, what we'll do is we'll get the core raiders in first, get them all invited, and you're like, all right, how many do we have of everything? We'll split them up into groups, and then we will say, well, we need this, this, and this. And then we will pull what we need from this, this, and this from the casual people that are there ready to raid that evening. Now, if it's the same casual people that are showing up every week, then you have to start rotating them in because you can't have the same casuals all the time because that doesn't make any sense, right? Because then the other people aren't getting any chance. Now you might think, well, Wobble, I'm always going to be behind then if I'm a casual raider. I'm not getting gear first because the core raiders are going to be the ones getting it first because they have to make sure we're at least being competent, not competitive, in our raiding. So here's how I'm going to run it. 1 to 2 weeks in a row, 1 to 2, depending on how we're doing, we'll run progression. And that means we're going to be running up into where we can get to. So say we're on the third boss of Blackwing Lair. So 1 to 2 weeks, we'll clear up to that boss, and we'll be like smashing our heads into the wall against that guy, whatever his name is. I forget it. It's at the end of the suppression room. Forget his name. But anyways, but then on the third week in the interim, we'll run what's called a farm raid. And that's a great time for the core raiders if they need to step down, although some people might need stuff still, and we'll go to a previous raid and we'll start cycling those every week, right? So, and if we have it on farm, we can get 2 of them in a week because we're raiding twice a week. So say we're in AQ40 for progression, 1 to 2 weeks in there. Then the third week, you run Molten Core the first day because we'll have it on farm. We'll clear it. And the second day, we run Blackwing Lair. And that's a great time for the casual raiders to get their gear. And you might get 2 or 3 pieces that night if you're the only casual for a certain class. You never know. And that's how I'm planning to keep it. It's impossible to make it so the casual raiders side of everything are completely up to snuff with where the core raiders are. But I think that this system will allow for them to at least be half to 2/3 caught up to where they are. I hope. Now, if we ever get to a point where it's like, oh, we're getting up to 35, 40 full times, then yeah, we hit 40 full time raiders. We're getting really close to that. My goal would definitely be to split it. And I don't want to make 2 raid teams, but if I have to, I would. Canicus is all over me for this, but yeah, and he's right. I hate to admit he's right, but if you have too many full times, you know, you either make a full time raid, but then it becomes Team A versus Team B, and I want to. That's what I'm trying to avoid is having 2 raids that are competing. We don't ever want it to be a competition because we don't want people borrowing from the other raid, and then it gets crazy. So there's a lot of things that can happen, but for right now, what I said ahead of time is where I'd like us to be as far as the raid. Remember, get in the game, level, enjoy yourself. There's a long way to raiding, 3 to 4 months till we start planning that stuff. I don't want to move things too fast. So that's where I'm at with that. Hope that answered your question. I'm hoping that should be put out during interviews. I'm hoping we're getting that message out. So Guild Vision, short term. So, guess what? The best time, so Guild Vision, short term, get the guild made. That's important. Dwarves and human raid versus gnome and elves raids. Okay. If you haven't checked it out, check out the 40 Shaman versus 40 Paladin Alterac Valley match on YouTube. Pretty epic, by the way. You can make, I don't know who do you think won? It's a good question. But anyways, so short term for the guild. Get the guild made. First day is going to be crazy. There's going to be tons of people in Discord. We're going to try to make sure people are starting to get going into group when they start grouping, get them into the group channels so that they have places to go. And we want to, kind of dissipate it a little bit so we spread out. We don't want 100 people trying to chat at the exact same time. Discord's going to be nuts. It's just kind of a part of the game, and I've been thinking about it for months now. Get the guild made, everyone leveling. I know there's a lot of people want to do the dungeons and make sure that people have groups to run with. And yeah, that's my I want everyone to get the word out because when's the best time for recruiting? And there's the AQ. That's the AQ 40. That's the AQ opening, by the way. We'll be there doing that one day. I bet you we'll be there doing that. You'll see. Anyways, so yeah, going back. So the best time to recruit is right at the beginning. You're going to be out there in groups of one, two, three, whatever. And there's going to be people that see you. Maybe you go into a dungeon with one or two pickup people, or you help somebody with a quest. That is the best time to show people what random encounter are about. And that's my biggest short-term goal is letting the server know that we are a good group of people and we're not some rush invite guild that just, you know, throws invites out like it's nobody's business. People should know that, random encounter people are good people and they're good players and also friendly players. And they're willing to help anyone and bring people along for runs, and that's your best recruiting tool. Because guess what? You ever see people try to build guild? Like, let's say talk about retail just for a second. You ever see people go, "Hey, I'm building a guild. Anyone want to join it?" Do you think anyone's joining that guild? Probably not. Why? Well, because everyone after 1 month in a game, everyone is usually where they want to be, right? Everyone is where they want to be. People don't like change. Right? And we like our consistency. Yes, sometimes people quit guilds, but it's rare. Like at least, well, it used to be. Now it's a bit not. Everyone does it now. Whatever. But back then it was like, yeah, if you found your guild, that was your home, and that's where you stayed. And it's going to be like that in Classic. There's not going to be a lot after the first few months. There's not going to be a lot of movement. So we got to get out there and get the word out on that role playing server that we are a great guild and that um, people should want to join us because we're just genuinely all around good people. Bunch of old farts in a guild. Just kidding. Long term. Uh, so I've talked about this too a lot with my officers, and I know I do talk with officers a lot. But that's just because I'm trying to get everything set up. So don't ever think I'm trying to ignore you guys in the membership area. But here's how I see it. You know what? There might be one or two guilds on the role playing server that probably shouldn't be on a role playing server and they're going to hurry and they're going to rush through everything. But guess what? Remember that thing I told you about personalities and raids and stuff like that? They might jump out to a strong lead and they might be like way ahead of us, right? They're like killing it. But they're going to fall because they didn't plan for any kind of personality and we did. And I think by the time the Encourage gates are starting to open, I think not because we're hurrying and not because we're pushing content, but because we are organized, we are a good group of people, we will by default become the most competent guild for PvE on the server. Do I have well let me look if I have that in my I think that's a question in the question. Hold on a second. It doesn't look like it is. Um, Getting too big? No, because every single member is vetted, Losons. Um, if you do it right, and you have the right amount of officers per members and senior members and junior officers and all whatnot. If you do it right and people don't get ignored and you know what? Yeah, we might get big and that's okay. As long as we treat each other with the same respect we would have if we were a smaller guild. Um, will we get big? Yeah, we're a big guild already. I mean, we have a lot of members. Will we lose some? Yeah, like I said earlier, we're going to lose some members, and that's okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about the others. There's a couple guilds out there that think They're joining. Don't worry about anyone else. That's a great thing. Long term about the guild. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. We're our own community. We can take care of ourselves. We have our own. We have a master crafter system. We have role playing PvP. That's another thing. Long term, I'd love to see a daily PvP team. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like just to say, like, wow, there's like 3 field marshals or 3 grand marshals out of a random encounter. That would be awesome. Yeah, yeah. Remember the story of the tortoise and the hare. So yeah. Um, what else long term? And I'm just gonna say it now. I'd like to see. Canicus said it best. Your guild tag means something, even if you don't know the guild member well. The tag will tell you a yes. That's a good one. Myth. Thank you. That is also good. You see some officers with some good words of wisdom. Thank you so much for that, guys. There's also the now I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'll tell you what. I think with our size and the type of people we have and the community we have a good chance of having one member of random encounter. Again, this isn't a pressure thing. I'm not saying we're going to do it. We have a good chance of somebody in random encounter ringing the gong and opening that AQ door, or at least being a part of it and being able to ring the gong. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying I'm promising it, but I think that as a team, that's just kind of a good long-term goal for me is to have someone in the guild do that. Who I don't know, it'll be a special person that has the capability to play. By the way, if you haven't watched it, there's a 40-minute video telling you what you got to do to smash that gong. I was fortunate enough to help the person in my guild hit the gong back then, and he was playing for 15 hours a day. Oh no, yeah, 15 to 20 hours a day for about 3 weeks straight. It's no joke. And he had to have 15 to 20 people helping him at all times, plus some 40-man content. So it's a lot of work. Will we get there? I don't know. Is it a goal? Yeah, I'd love to see someone from Random Encounter rocking that black mount. But again, I can't guarantee it. And I don't know where we'll be then, but I think we're in a good position. Um, so yeah, those are my guild. Those are my long. Please don't quit your day job. Yeah. Smash. Boom. Oh, I wanted to say, just I don't know where I was gonna fit this in. I'd love to have a Hearthstone tournament, where we just do like all. I'd love the guild to run like a Hearthstone tournament where like everyone can only use common cards, so it's fair for everybody. I call them pauper tournaments. Thought it might be kind of cool, kind of a role playing event too. So we can all act like we're in an inn or something like that, all gathered around the Hearthstone table. I don't know. Just thought that there's a good. That's a nice short term goal. So moving on from that. Someone asked me to talk about the Guild RP story. Yeah, so if you haven't done so, go ahead and go read. Actually, let's read it. I'll read it to you. I will actually read you my character backstory, and that way you can hear kind of how the guild is getting. Wait, what? It's like what the heck? So I'm gonna go ahead and gonna read you. This will help you understand a little bit more about a lot of comments on applications. A little bit more about how the guild kind of is like the story works for the guild with the game. I know some people were interested in that. So let me find it. Where's my story? Oh, A Date with Destiny, Wobble story. I'm gonna go ahead and read. It's a little bit length, but I hope you guys will like it. So, and again, I'm no great writer or anything, but this will help you kind of understand. Wobble's father had returned just 1 year ago. He had disappeared from his workshop while working on one of his many engineering projects. His father had called it a time machine. Should I do the voice like this, like I'm doing a gnome? No, let's not do that. a device that was capable of sending you either to the future or the past. Even the elders had called the idea ridiculous and quite a waste of time. Still, after Sprocket kept on with his project to enable himself to have time travel. On a day like any other, there was a large explosion in the Sprocket family workshop. Wobble himself didn't think anything of it, since his father was usually destroying something or other. That was the last day he was seen for a year. Many thought he had run off to join a cult, a thieves' guild, or maybe even a mistress. Now Wobble stood before his father's deathbed. He had listened to his father's stories about visiting the future, a version of Azeroth where Nefarian was planning to to destroy, I need to edit this, destroy everyone along with Onyxia, a place where his father had joined a guild called the Order of Twilight and fought alongside a great leader named Zanriel to save Azeroth from both the Horde and the Great Dragons. His father had betrayed his guild master and in doing so, there was a great divide in the most powerful force in the Alliance. This divide is what eventually allowed Nefarian to destroy all of the Alliance cities in one fell swoop. Wobble was told of the warning signs as well, which of course he thought were silly. Wobble just wanted to complete his training in peace, and his father was just getting in his way. Wobble's father grew deathly ill and fell into a coma. Soon after, the signs began to emerge. First, there were rumblings of a great worm near Theramore. Second, the Horde became ever more encroaching on Alliance territory, and tensions ran high between the two factions. These alone might have been a coincidence, but the final straw had been the loss of his great home of Nomergon to the befouled Trogs. Even after all of this, Wobble still persisted that his father's story was nonsense. He would continue to work here with the dwarves in Coldridge. This would include giving up his mage's staff for good, but he wanted to make sure his mother had a home. Then Wobble heard the news from a passing dwarf that was on a trading trip from Ironforge. A young mage had been killed in Keranos while sleeping in his inn room. The mage was named Zanriel, and he carried with him a guild charter for the registration name of Order of Twilight. As Wobble watched his father draw his final breath, he promised to make things right. He knew he could not do this alone, and that his father's story, the signs, and Zanriel's death could not all be some random encounter. Wobble turned away from his father and wiped a tear from his eye. He placed his backpack on snug and picked up his staff. He was never one to be the center of attention, but he knew that if he didn't get the people of the Alliance together, that all this would surely be gone in the hands of Lord Victor Nefarious. Wobble set out into the cold wind and snow of Coldridge Valley and walked towards destiny. He had to get to Ironforge and tell the world what he knew. He prayed that someone would listen to him. So that's the story of how Random Encounter is basically going to be coming about. And I'll do a continuation where Wobble meets Canicus and some of the other officers as well. So I don't know if you liked it. I know it's kind of corny, but I did come up with a nice little backstory for the guild. So I kind of enjoyed writing that. I thought it was touching. So that's the back story from the guild. We'll continue that. The Guild Crest. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Guild Crest since someone had asked about it, and that hasn't come into the story yet. But basically, if you look at the Guild Crest, let me get it on the pillow here. If you guys haven't seen the pillow, we have all kinds of merchandise. If you've came in late, got to get yourself a Random Encounter coffee mug, pillow, or hoodie. If you haven't checked out the hoodies yet either. Just trying to put these out there. We're trying to raise some more money for some more events and stuff like that. So they're really nice. So check them out. All right. So, yeah. So, of course, we have the Alliance shield here with the lion. And then Random Encounter is all about meeting new friends and through random encounters. And, of course, you know, we're all our meeting is a random encounter, but what's happening in the world is not, which is kind of a weird play on words there. And so it's all about friendship and building that friendship. So I find that the clasping hands on each other, which you can see here, is very symbolic from that. And of course, it's all under the watchful eye of the Alliance. That's what we're all members of the Alliance in our guild. And some people have been asking, the Horde symbol is here, which is also hanging from a chain wrapped around the arms. So that symbolizes that without the Horde, Um, First off, the alliance wouldn't exist, um, right? So the horde has kind of like brought us together, is part of the reason we are together. So without the horde, uh, we wouldn't be bound together like that. Hey, thank you, Purple Freak, for the sub. 10 months. You're getting close to that year. Thank you very much, Purple Freak. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Welcome back. 10 months of subscription from Purple Freak. Thank you so much. Let's see how long Purple Freak's been following me.
Sub hype. The Chew Hobbit 1 Rage Poke Jengar.
Hold on, let's see. What? Did I misspell followage? Purple Freak's one of my oldest viewers, so I wanted to. Maybe I'm not doing spelling followage right. Oh, Purple Freak, you can do the followage thing. It's not. It's an unrecognized command, which I know it isn't. Anyways, hey Sydney with the sub. Thank you with the Twitch Prime sub. A lot of subs today. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Makes me feel really happy. Twitch Prime, nonetheless. There's like millions of Twitch streamers that you could choose that Twitch Prime. You only get one. You chose me, and that makes me feel good. Oh, Purple Freak has been following Hobbit Bilbo Man for 5 years, 6 months, 1 week, 5 hours, 52 minutes, and 8 seconds. Man, Purple Freak has been around a long time. Watching me play Final Fantasy 14 way back in the day. Whew. That is a long, long time ago. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by. And Sydney, thank you so much for your Twitch Prime sub as well. That makes me feel really happy. I know you still play 14. So like I was saying, without the Horde, they're one of the other contributing factors to us being together. So, little small Horde symbol there. And, part of the reason that binds us together is that the Horde is always an ever-growing threat and that we must decimate and destroy. So that is the kind of backstory behind the Crest. If anyone wants to continue with this story on the Crest, I'm more than willing to. I'd love to have you guys talk about it. If someone wants to write something up and send it to me, and I could if more than one person sends me stuff, I could kind of mush them all together. So let me know. Always willing to do that. All right. So now we're gonna move on completely to the guild. This is all guild topic pretty much. So although we've been talking about the guild already. Okay. So come back a little bit to the short term thing with the guild. So the first thing, what to expect in your first week in the guild, because a lot of people are asking well, what's it going to be like, or what should I expect? What do I need to do? Do I have to do anything? Do I have to what do I have to do? How am I going to find somebody? There's so many questions. First thing I want to always say is go on the forums, read the post about the day one guild thing. That'll cover a lot of the topics, especially when I know a lot of people are going to miss it, joining the out of character chat as soon as you enter the game. Get in the game, /join REOOC. That's your number one thing you want to do. And why am I talking with my hands? So let's go over a couple things you're going to encounter your first week in the guild. All right, so the first thing you're going to be more members. Expect the membership to really, really spike. Not to worry, we're still going to do. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Yeah. So what I want to say is expect a spike in membership. Everyone's still going to go through the interviews. We're going to be cutting down. Interviews are going to be done twice a week once the game launches, I think, so that all of our scheduled interviews are going to happen on certain days at certain times and between 7 and 10. And that way we can do multiple interviews at once, and that way we're not trying to schedule all around. And we're going to do it during times that we would normally be doing guild events, so people should be able to make those interviews. Obviously, some situations where the person works nights and it's impossible, we would make an exception. But for the most part, that's kind of the plan for that. But expect a ton of members. Then, on the flip side of that, expect drop-off. There's going to be drop-off, and you're going to see it. People are going to leave. I suggest, you know, if you see the words, blah, 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 whoever, uh, Dragony Drew Drop has quit the guild, then whatever, right? Just let the officers handle it. Um, don't go running to that person, right? You're just gonna you can make it the situation worse. Just if it's something that we think we could probably save, it probably isn't though. Most people mull over quitting a guild for days, or at least I think so. And there's already when someone quits a guild, they already have a plan. It's kind of like quitting a job. You quit your job, you've already got something lined up. Most people don't just quit unless you're like really disgruntled with something. So, um, yeah, just let it happen. It's going to happen. We'll send them a message as officers. Don't worry about it. Um, and like I said, at first there's going to be some people that they don't, I guess, don't know what they want. You people quit all the time at your work. Yeah, but don't you work in like a high turnover? I think you work at a high turnover rate, don't you, Purple? I think you're retail though, if I remember right. It's been a long time since we've chatted, but I do remember that retail always has a yeah, retail always has a high turnover. Um, so that's chaos. Not like ridiculous chaos, but there'll be some chaos. You know, that's because there's going to be a lot of people on day one. You're going to be like, oh my God, there's so many people in Discord. How am I going to get a word in? If you can't get a word in, type it out. Type it out somewhere in the Discord and guild chat. If we miss it, wait a minute or two, and then send a message. The officers are gonna have their hands full. And remember, they don't all the messages don't have to go to me. We have the other officers. If you all send me a message, guess what? Probably none of it's gonna get done. So, um, be patient and do your best to wait your turn and find a group to hang out with. Find a little group and go to find a channel to hang out in and just wait for instructions. There'll be instructions going out. Just wait on it and just yeah, delegate it like that's right. So just wait, be patient. Guess what? Your question might not get answered on the first night. Second night, most likely. I demand only Ovid handles. Yeah, that's right. Oh wait, we have that new emote. That's right. Come on, Purple. You got to use we got the chat ones now. We got all these new emotes. So yeah, just be patient. Wait for us. Wait for the time. Wait for your turn. It'll come, but it'll be there. So just be ready for day one. Day one's going to be insane. The best thing you can do on day one, get your butt to Ironforge after you finish your starting zone. And then wait, we're going to have a line. So I was saying it before. There's going to be a line. We're going to have everyone form a line inside the Ironforge Welcome Center and then outside and down the stairs and towards the entrance. I think it is a perfect thing to get some a little bit of attention. I think it is a perfect thing to get some attention for the guild and a nice little RP event in there as well. Personality caution, right? You're going to run into a lot of different types of personalities in the guild, especially people that you haven't interacted with yet. There's some people are going to be really outgoing and some people are going to be shy. Yes, Classic Mike. Yes, exactly, Classic. You've got it. That's Classic Meb, by the way. Yes, you. So, remember, some people are going to be super outgoing and have a like a dry sense of humor, or some people are going to be really quiet and they're not going to say a lot. Let everyone feel each other out, right? That's what's going to be. The first couple days, everyone's going to be feeling each other's personality, and you'll gravitate towards some certain players, obviously. And you might have to group with someone that is not someone you would typically hang out with, and it's good for you to kind of like get on that. As long as you don't have to roll it, you don't have to roll anything. No one, I don't think I've ever forced anyone to roll anything. So that's it. Remember, be cautious about other people's personalities. everyone. We're all adults and we're all mature, but well, most of us, and but just kind of feel it out and be like, okay, that person's okay. I shouldn't do that here, and I should feel no. But be yourself. Of course, we want you to be yourself, but just remember, not everyone's the same. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. There'll be okay. I was gonna say, yeah, this is a good topic. So there's already some groups of friends that have already formed. Um, right? So there's some groups that brought in a bunch of people, and there's some people that have made friends already. And I know those people you guys are gonna group together, and that's fine. Make sure you find some other new friends too. And there's gonna be some small groups that form that are new because you find that like your play style matches them, especially like the slow levelers and stuff like that. They'll group together. And some of the people that want to level faster may end up grouping together. So it's just something that that's going to happen. What we want to avoid, of course, is having cliques. We don't want clique groups that end up destroying the guild because it becomes like them versus the guild, and then they all leave, and then it's like people panic because then the guild, just try to be diverse in who you group with at least a little bit and enjoy your friends that you have. FF11 vanilla. Oh, what about FF11 vanilla? Boy, I loved FF11. FF vanilla. Yeah, well, they no actually there's a lot of FF vanilla servers. Still not the same though. Yeah, clicks are really bad. Hey, Red, haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. All right, moving on. All right, I know someone wanted me to talk about raids. I talked a little bit earlier about how we decided to do like our rating system. Um, I've looked a lot at the spreadsheet. Actually, I will go ahead and bring it up now on my screen so I can take a look at it. And I'm gonna give. Some people wanted me to break down where I thought the spreadsheet was looking. I don't want to take too long on this because I didn't want to get too much into rating because we want people to level. Remember, don't fill this sheet out. It's on the website, by the way. Don't fill it out unless you're absolutely sure the class you're going to run. So we have 49 people have filled out the spreadsheet, which is good. Um, pretty evenly matched among all classes. But remember, that's not really what's important. What's important is, and I'm not saying that the full-time raider is more important than the casual raider, but the full-time raider, that group is kind of what drives the raid. So that's the biggest stat, right? If you can have 20 mages, right? But if only one of them's a full-time raider, like you really only have one mage. Although if you have 20 part-times, you're probably going to fill the rest of the slots, But I'm just saying.
Try little old Toby.
Hey, thank you, Certain, for the follow. Welcome to the Hobbit Hole. Welcome to the Shire. And while you're here, don't be a fool of a took. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think before we get in, let's keep moving. I was going to do a little bit of a break, but I think we'll keep moving. So let me do a little bit of a breakdown of what we have so far. So out of the 49, wait a second. It looks like we have 4 druids, 7 hunters, 6 mages, 5 paladins, 7 priests, 6 rogues, 7 warlocks, and 6 warriors. So somewhat pretty diverse, actually. That's not bad, actually. Race-wise, 12 dwarves, 10 gnomes, 14 humans, which takes the lead, and 12 night elves, and a partridge in a pear tree. So pretty even on the races too. I'm not going to get into the trades that much. Those are split as well, except engineering. Engineering and enchanting are behind. So blacksmithing's behind a little bit. We will need a few of those. So you warriors, get in there. So as of right now, I'm probably I'd like to do the raid on a weekday weekend schedule. So I'm not, and I'm just going to throw 2 days out. That doesn't mean it's exactly what we're doing. It doesn't even mean that I even thought about it. So something like Tuesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Saturday, something like that. You know. And one shaman. Oh wait, I tossed him back in the booty bag. All right, Myth. I'll see you later. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. By the way, if you need to go, anyone, this will be on YouTube tomorrow. I hope. Most people want to keep the raid to about 3 hours. I'm probably gonna maybe push it 3 to 3.5 hours, so somewhere in there. We have, it looks like 26 people have signed up full time, which is good. 22 casual. I'm surprised it's more full time than casual. I don't know what that means, but we'll figure it out. Druids. Okay, let's start with tanks. As far I'm looking at as for full-time raiders, these are just target numbers. It doesn't mean anything. They're open to change. I'm looking for 3 full-time. Actually, I have to go back and change that. Excuse me. This needs to change. I need to update one thing. Okay, so warriors. I'm looking for 3 full-time, full protection warriors and 2 either protection or I'd like to have them be DPS with a set of tanking gear with them. So 5 warriors, because you need 5 warriors to do almost like a lot of the content for, or at least some of the bosses. So it's just necessary. So I had to put 5 warriors. So we have 2 of 3 full-time tanks, and we have 0 of 2 full-time DPS warriors. So we're going to be short. But we have a lot more warriors that are part-time as well. So don't, that they'll be able to fill in. Remember, these are the full-time numbers, not like the overall numbers. Rogues. I'm at 4 of 2 for rogues for full-time, but rogues can also be intertwined a little bit. Like rogues can somewhat be intertwined with like DPS warriors, but not completely, or maybe hunters. Yeah, so. But that might change. So if you're, during the guild meeting, I'll be putting out like any classes that would like to change, people that have rolled something and feel like it's maybe too full. Somehow rogues have become very full, which is surprising me. So, anyways, we have 4 holy priests out of 4 holy priests. That's really good. 3 out of 3 holy paladins. That's full time. Mages, 5 of 4. So we're a little over on mages. Not a big deal. 2 of 3 full time hunters. We have a lot of part time hunters. A lot of part time paladins too. We have one person that wants to play a boomkin. I wasn't looking to have one, but we can put that in like with a warlock or a mage category, so that's fine too. Um, Actually, boomkin's pretty cool because you can put it in a group with 4 mages and give the mages 5% crit chance. Pretty awesome. 2 of 3 resto druids, so there's that too. Of course. Yeah, so that's where that's sitting. I'm okay with the numbers right now. I don't see any problems, especially with all the casual raiders. This should fill out just nicely. Um, at the current rate, though, if we keep picking up people, yeah, might have to look at another raid, even though that's something that I really wasn't excited to do, but it's there. Just saying it's there. It's a possibility. We'll have to look at it as we move along. Um, My thoughts on Molten Core, someone I wanted to know. I don't think our guild will have a lot of problems with Molten Core. Molten Core was kind of like this. When I first raided, Molten Core was sort of like this bastion of like insane difficulty because we had no clue what we were doing. We have the knowledge now. We have new skill. Like we're better gamers, and we have like we're better equipped for everything. I don't see Molten. Ragnaros. I think the 2 biggest problems. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. Are Ragnaros and Major Domo. Major Domo can be a little hard on the pole, but other than that, um, I don't see. I just don't see us having too much of a a problem with most of the raid. Ragnaros can be quite tough, especially if you don't have your fire gear. But as far as that, I do predict some struggle for us in Blackwing Lair, especially on Valstraz. Chromagus will be very difficult, and Nefarian can be quite difficult as well. Who's the final boss? But other than that, I don't see it being a big problem. But just some people wanted to know what I thought about it, and that's exactly what I think about it. Again, I've already talked about my goals long term for the guild rating. We get there when we get there. I'd like to get through everything, but I'm not going to rush it. We'll do it. We get there when we get there, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I'm not going to push it. Like I said, I told you what my big goal is. I'd love to see someone from Random Encounter smash the gong. Will it happen? I don't know. Would I like to happen? Yes. Will I push it? No. Okay. Guild events. I'm looking at right now the guild website. If you haven't checked it out, there are a ton, and I mean a ton, of guild events already planned for the first 2 months of the game. Let me go ahead and check out the event list. There's, let me just go on the home page. We got a guild meeting coming up on August 11th. You should really try and be there if you're not signed up already. 12th is character creation. I hope everyone will be on. Great night. If we haven't discussed it already, you will know before you create your character what server. I hope that we will know the servers before then. I'll make sure we get that information out as fast as I can so you guys know where to make your characters. One sec. Talking a lot, make me yawn. There's an officer meeting the day before the game releases, and then officers will be reporting 9 a.m. Those that will be available. Officers will be reporting 9 a.m. on launch day. WoW Classic releases at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on August 26th. I bet you'll be a lot of people there. 9 p.m. that night, we hope to have our guild charter and signing. So you have 3 hours to get out of the starting zone. We will hold it up if it's slow. Don't worry. Every Saturday morning, we'll have fireside breakfast in-game. Chatting in /say. Hopefully we'll pick an inn to have it in. Most likely a starting area in, and yeah, it'd be a good time to catch up, maybe meet some people you've never met, maybe meet a new person to group with. Our first guild meeting is September 7th. All guild meetings, we're going to basically shut down Discord for guild meetings unless you're not going. We should go. You should go. All guild meetings are going to be in /say, so it'll be really cool. First guild meetings in Goldshire. Oh yeah. We have an event on September 11th. We have 9 Elven, which is an event to remember first responders and military from 9/11 and 2001, kind of a fourth wall breaking. We'll make the pilgrimage from Ironforge to Teldrassil on foot. So I'm not sure what the route's going to be yet, but I'd like to see as many people as we can go ahead and make that trip. All right. So that's that one. And of course, yeah. And then remember, we'll have a guild meeting every month. Guild meetings will be where we promote people and stuff like that. RP events, we're going to be working on getting some in there. Maybe we'll have some extra stuff. I know we're going to have some guild weddings. There's a lot of couples in the guild. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have a bunch of RP events. First off, I want everyone to level a little bit, get to know each other, and enjoy their time. Static parties. Hey, if you want to do what I'm doing, I'm going to have that alt group that I make. I kind of recommend other people do it too. Or make some other characters and have a static group. Great way to meet some people you've never grouped with. I think I'm going to make my alt group is going to be all members I have never, maybe I've never played with, or people I haven't grouped with, and stuff like that. Crafting and gathering. Canicus has taken up the lead for the crafting and the master crafter crafting and gathering division. We have some awesome stuff coming out of there, including a 50-50 raffle to help get our guild bank for gold running immediately. And he's going to be helping keep a spreadsheet for all the stuff in there. It's going to be nuts. Wait, I can't believe I think it's because I'm chatting so long. Is why I'm starting to yawn. Pardon me, guys. I'll try to fix that. Maybe I need some water. So I've been chatting quite a bit here. All right, moving on from that. So crafting and gathering, Canicus, you should message him if you have questions about that program. The program's also on the forums. It will come if you become a master crafter or gatherer. That comes with some perks, including becoming a senior member. So it's not for everyone, but it is there. Oh, I wanted to take a moment to thank the people that have added days to our guild website, like paid, real money. Dia helped us out. Mythanaeus did. Mythanaeus, excuse me. Dune Shield, Freyja, Zarya, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, and Reckless Lemming, who's also left. Personal life just has gotten in the way, or they just have decided that maybe, hey, it's not what they thought it would be. So, and that's okay. My dog just gave out a heavy sigh, like what? Why are you still talking? For those of you who don't know about the guild advancement structure, I'm going to try to make it quick and short. I want to get to question and answer here so I can get some water as well. We're almost done. So the way it works now is we have our initiate program for those who just come in the guild, 1 to 2 weeks, just to kind of feel you out. If you don't want to be with us anymore or we don't want you anymore, which shouldn't happen too often, you can leave or we can have you leave at any point. That's sort of like a feeling out process. Then we have the regular members, which is our biggest group. Those that excel in the regular member position kind of know how the guild runs, know the guild rules kind of by heart, know the core values, and have exhibited, not asked. I mean, you can still ask about like promotion, but I more want to see it, right? I'm more of a show me type person when it comes to promotion. Senior members, who are our wardens, are those that can answer very simple questions about the guild, can direct you in the area you need to get to. So right now we're sitting at as many warden as I want to promote up until launch. I'm sure we'll move as soon as we get more people. We'll be moving up on those numbers as well. After that is our lieutenant rank, which is sort of a junior officer. To become a lieutenant, you must be hand selected by one of the full-term officers to become sort of a Padawan. You work under them and you learn kind of what they do. You kind of get yourself involved in what they're in charge of, and that will help you learn even better. And you might spend a long time at lieutenant. It could take you a long time. And then eventually, if the officer corps feels you're ready and it's time for you to move up, then we would move you into a full officer position. Then there's, of course, there's the marshal, which right now is Canicus. And the only reason we would make a new marshal is if Canicus left the guild or had to leave the game or something like that for some unforeseen reason. One of the officers would move in that position. And then there's my rank, which is the guild master. And if for some reason, again, we don't know where life leads us. Things can happen from day to day. Games, whatever, things happen. And if I had to leave or health prevented me to do anything, Canicus would then take that position, and then one of the officers would take position in the marshal program. So that's how the rank structure works. Remember, with me, it's always about follow the core values. If you're looking to be promoted, follow the core values. Don't be a nudge, and show me. Don't ask me. Show me what you got, and then maybe ask me later on. Maybe I missed it. I could miss it, right? I have a lot of people to look after, and so sometimes I do miss it. But maybe talk to the officers. Always ask an officer a question. If you ever have a question about policy, go to an officer. We want to make sure that people are getting the correct answer. Sometimes guild members. Everyone wants to help, and that's great. I'm so happy, right? I love that everyone wants to help, but sometimes they don't have the full story, and a guild member might think they're helping you with a policy question, and what happens? They get the wrong information, then the person does the wrong thing, and then they're upset, and then it's a whole issue. So Yeah, always ask an officer if you have a question about policy, and you'll probably get the best answer you can possibly get. Okay, I think that's all the topics I want to cover. Um, hold your questions now. I'm going to go over to the pre-questions, but if you have a question, maybe type it out or get ready with it. And I will actually, you can type them out now. I'll hit them in between. If you have questions about anything we've talked about, and of course, I won't let you guys off easy. I'm not getting out of here until you guys ask some questions. But I'm going to go over the questions I already have printed out from people. Voice. Grab a water. Oh, okay, yep. I should get a water. I'm like dying here. Give me a second. I'm going to put some music on for you. This is a um, small intermission. I'll come back for question and answer. Don't go anywhere. Where's my BRB screen? And I will be right back. A drink is a good idea. And I'll see you guys in like 2 or 3 minutes, all right? Be right back. The show's not over yet. We still have question and answer, which could take forever. I'll see you in a minute. Be right back. Oh my gosh, my slideshows are messed up. There we go. All right, we're back. We're back. One sec, guys. Whew. Do some different pictures. Let's do some more D&D type and some like old school RPG and some real life pictures too for me while we get into the question and answer portion. Oh, someone wanted to see the dog? Let me see if I can bring him up. He's kind of KO'd right now. Oh, that's the wrong way. The Master Crafter program? The Master Crafter program is kind of like, oh, my vision for it, I think it's pretty well spelled out on the website, but mostly it's a place where the people that want to really excel in that and really enjoy crafting, they can help. There's going to be orders put in by both me, as the raid leader. Other raiders might put orders in. But hopefully they'll tip, I would hope, and give you the materials. Master gatherers are going to be putting in top tier mats for everyone. But it's something you're going to have to take orders. Like every week, you're probably going to have orders. And yeah, I think that that's the main portion of it. It's something that doesn't come without a lot of work. Yeah, I know he is. He's an awesome dog. Are you tired, buddy? Yeah, that's Doc. Let me get him off of here now. I could keep it on him, I guess. If you guys don't want to see. Should I put it back on me, or we're just going to keep it on the dog? For super cute factor. Either way. So that's the Master Crafter program is just a lot of work. It's something for people that's the main, mostly that's like the main focus they have for the game. And it'll have something like some sort of like goal for them other than just using the auction house. So you'd have to, Hey, it's a good picture of me. I haven't used these pictures in a long time. So moving on from that. Voice has a question that he sent me. It says, please describe a community experience that kept you interested in a game long after the game did, and explain how you'd like to encourage or foster those in Classic. That's a good one. For me, I'm trying to think, what was a good game I spent? Alright, by the way, we've had enough Ironforge music, haven't we? Let's move on to something different here. No, that's just more Ironforge. I accidentally hit it. Alright. So, the game that I spent the more time on than I ever should have was, I'd say, nice crotch shot there. I'd say that the one I spent the more time on than I ever should have was probably Dragon Age Inquisition. I got really involved in the multiplayer aspect of that game, which, if you've ever played the multiplayer for Dragon Age Inquisition, it is absolutely the most abhorrently boring game. Maybe I'll play that later and stream it just to show you guys how boring it is. So basically, the game works like this. There's 4 maps. That's it, and the maps take about 10 to 15 minutes each, and that's it. You level your characters to 20, which takes about an hour and a half, and then you promote them. Right? You promote them. And when you promote them, you get permanent stat boost to all your characters. And that's infinite. You can keep doing that. So there's gear plus that. And after a while, that gets pretty dull. But my gosh, I met some of the greatest people I ever met. That's when I first played that game, at least got really into the multiplayer. I was with, I had just started having chronic pain. And, I had just started having chronic pain, and I kind of was also super depressed at the time, but I met these 2 people. One of them was named Big Cheese, and the other one was named Writer Lola, and there was 3 of them, and there was a third guy. Now I don't remember his name, but they were really nice to me. And they had friends too, and I kind of got into this community playing on there, and I would get on there just to chat with everyone. We were playing and we were advancing, right? But we never actually, the game didn't matter. It was about hanging out. So, how I'd like to encourage or foster that? Yes. So that's right. So when if you ever log on to an MMO or any game, and you're like, great, I have to do this again. then it's not worth playing. Now, if you log on to the game and you're like, cool, I'm so happy that when I log on, I'm going to see Huey, Dewey, Louie, Meanie, Miny, Mo, and Rui, like, you know all those people are going to be on, and that gives you a good feeling, then that's the feeling that I'm trying to foster with Random Encounter, is you're like, man, I cannot wait to log in and see X, Y, Z, B, and Q. Right? That's what I'm trying to foster. So, by having a good community that enjoys talking to each other and stuff like that, I think is super important. One moment here. I think we're in Undercity here. We need to change this music. Stat. Here we go. Enchanted Forest. So moving on. Next question. That was Voice's question. Thank you so much, Voice, for that. Sorry, Flip. Ether, who is also 514, asks, did you watch the World First race this past weekend, and is there anything you took from it from a rating perspective? I watched a little bit of it, but so here's the thing. And I talked about this in my first vodcast. Think of it like this. Think about the world first raiders, the people that are like insane at it, they're actually not toxic. But for some reason, the people that want to be world first raiders or think they're going to emulate those people, those are the people that end up being toxic. Truly good raiders understand that death and dying is is a mechanic of the game. And when people in my guild learn that mess ups are going to happen, and it's all about learning and then moving on from those mess ups, that's when you succeed. Getting angry, freaking out, none of those things help, and that is when you fail. So that's something I would take away from those world first races is relax, learn from what you did, and if others are messing up around you, don't worry about them. You just stay on task, get your thing done. If they need help, your class leaders and the other people in your class will help them. The mages don't need to be telling the warriors how to tank, and the tanks don't need to be telling the mages how to do this, and the hunters don't need to be telling the warlock. Stick to your class, and then after the raid, I'll be with the class leaders. Hey, this is me on the, where is it? Over here? Yeah, over here. Me on the mountain. This is a great picture, but this mountain was a lot of fun to climb. So, yeah, that's what I took about it. Can Jor more food? No. Just looking here. All right, let me see here. All right, so that's that question. Thank you very much, 514/Ether. Much appreciated for that question. College asks, how can non-role players play with role players without screwing up their role play? Asking for a friend, of course. How can non-role play? Okay. The best way to do that is to not. You can still not role play, but not be a jerk, and not. Well, one thing is you can, if they're not in your guild, you ignore them, right? Just don't bother them while they're role playing. If it's in guild or you're in a guild setting or something like that, the best options I can tell you to do are to, one, kind of play along. So if someone says hail and well met or something, say hail. And how are you on this fine? They're like, how are you on this fine day or something? You can just say, very good, well, thank you. Just try to, and then if you're feeling uncomfortable, it's something you're not doing. Just be like, hey, well, you can say something like, well, I must be off to, I'm on an adventure, and then, I must hurry, and then you can take off. And then in out of character chat, you can be like, Or you can always type in out of character chat, hey, I'm a little uncomfortable role playing, no thank you, or something like that, and then move on. And that's fine, and then you won't be rude. So that's the best. If you really don't want to do it, and someone approaches you in guild chat or something, just say like, look, I'm not. But I would just suggest at least play along for a second or two and then move on. It's not hard to say hail and well met or good day, or have a pleasant, just we don't want to like interrupt people's like at least semi immersion is the best way I could put it. So thank you, college. That's a good question. It is hard as a non-role player. You always feel like you get in the way. Exactly, yeah. Do not run right through their scene. That's a good way to get people really mad. And on an RP server, you might get reported for that. Lion asks 2 questions. Number 1, for RP purposes, is there an overarching story for the guild? We answered that earlier in the vodcast. And we already did the Guild Crest, so that's already done. Cool. Classic Meh asks Meh. No. Is the answer? Frasier. Is there a consideration for a couple PvP or Battleground voice channels? That's a good idea. Yeah, we can do that. Either Isacot or Moxie. You can right click on a voice channel and clone it and then rename it and then make new sections. So let's get those let's get 2 PvP voice channels up. Battlegrounds, or we'll just put PvP 1 and 2. Okay. Hey, thank you, Frasier. That's a good idea. Mythonos. No, it's Mythonaeus. I always pronounce his name wrong. It's a myth. Any thoughts on maintaining random encounter as a gaming community well after Classic? Well, that's a loaded question. Thanks, Myth. Let's see. Well, we don't know how long we're going to, I don't know how long I'm going to be playing Classic, and I don't know how long the guild will stay in Classic. I think this question ties in with the next one, right? Let's take a look here. Okay, so let's move on with this. So what I'm going to say is, we don't know, right? I know there's talk of like, oh, there could be a Burning Crusade, or oh, there could be a Wrath of the Lich King after that. Right now, as far as that's concerned, my focus is on making this a WoW Classic guild right now. If in the future it becomes a super popular option and it's something I'd like to do, I would continue on. If I didn't want to go on to Burning Crusade, if that came out, I would, and Canicus did, I would make sure that he would take the guild. But right now, my concern as the leader is to provide a good WoW Classic environment for you guys. As far as let's just be honest. I'm a guild leader, but I'm also a human being. I can't play the same game for 15, 20 years, right? Like I can't play the same game for 15 or 20 years. No, I can't play the game for 10 years. I don't know. Like eventually, if say BC and Wrath don't come out, or I don't want to play those at the time, or something prevents me from playing them, and and it just kind of just doesn't work anymore, yeah, maybe we'll move to another community somewhere, I don't know. Or maybe we'll become a multi-game community. Again, it's something that if it was plausible and I could pull it off, I would do it. Random Encounter did very well in Final Fantasy XIV. For those of you who don't know about that. So yeah, there's a lot of ways things can go, and I know Myth is excited about this, by the way. A lot of the officers are super excited for the guild, and I really do appreciate all the work they've been putting in and stuff. So yeah, I don't know where we're going to be at the time, but if it's plausible, I would. Because, it's always good to stay with the same people, especially as a lot of the people in the guild we're getting up there and a little higher in age. So it's always best to stay with friends, I think. So yeah, I'd love to keep it going again. We'll see where that road takes us later. All right, thank you, Myth, for that question. Moving on. Moxie asks, do you dance crazy when no one is looking? The answer is yes. And can you show us the dance? I will not do that. Not live on camera. But I do a lot of really funny like stuff. As I talk to myself a lot. I write a lot of things down that are silly and not the most. Like everything I write and do is almost so logical but then every once in a while I do. Someone is looking, unable to comply. That's right. I just, I enjoy having a lot of chats with myself while I walk. I do a lot of walking. I really enjoy that. So, yeah. Yeah, I do enjoy. I enjoy deep thought, and I really do. I really enjoy thinking about things a lot and mulling over some greater things of like the interaction between people, why gaming is such a strong bond, especially MMOs for us. Like this is crazy, right? We literally have like 100 people in our guild right now, and we're all bound together by like a game, and that's pretty impressive that the game can do that. Especially for like a long-term thing. It's not like we're getting together to play like a game of Call of Duty. We're gonna be together for months and maybe years, and that's impressive to think about. So, yeah. Thank you, Moxie, for the crazy dancing question. N7 Kuzo asks, what's the status of the guild after the upcoming purge? We haven't done the purge yet. And we did. So he asked about the raiding team. We've already went over that earlier in the thing. So, it looks like we're gonna lose somewhere between. I don't know. It's gonna be somewhere between 5 and 10 people if they don't respond. So that put us at about 90 people, 90 to 95 members, and we also have like 5 potential applicants right now, I think. So there's that as well. So there you go. And that's. I think we're in a good spot. We have really good leadership and great membership as well. Flippity asks, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? I don't know, and this is just me simulating getting like knocked off the cliff. We'll just simulate it. But we'll do it slowly because I can't fall very fast. Alright, I'm coming back now. 11. That's a good answer. Thank you, Flip, for that ridiculous question. And last but not least, Isaacot. Never gonna repeat. To kind of tag on with what Myth said, what are your thoughts on the direction of the guild after all the raids have been conquered on and on farm? By the way, if none of you have ever heard about how Nax goes, Nax will take a long time to be on farm. Blizzard has not ruled out doing the same for Burning Crusade or Wrath if Classic success. My goal is to get us through all the content Classic has to offer. Even if that means, my hope is that they come out with Burning Crusade. Again, I hate to talk about this, that it's a copy mechanic. Copy where you are in vanilla and then move on to Burning Crusade. And I haven't decided whether if that happened, I'd either come back once a week with my classic character and the classic part of the guild and take on the Nax at that point, like that. Most likely that's what I would do, or we'd move over to Burning Crusade and come back and do Nax as maybe level 70s or something. I don't know. It's a hard question to ask, but I would if the guild is still viable and it's something that everyone wants to do, I wouldn't rule it out. But my goal is to get us through everything as a guild, because a lot of people, that is the reason that they're playing Classic, is they want to see all the content. It might take a while, it might take us years, but my goal is to get us through it. Yeah, I agree. Nax would have to be done. Nax would have to be done. Each wing of Nax is almost its own raid. It would take. It's going to take a long time. Wow. Pope lit. How would you do? I guess the problem. How would you do add-on content? I guess like as a parallel maybe to like, Burning Crusade, like something that's still going on in the old world. Maybe you could do that. I don't know. No, I wouldn't be against it. I don't. As long as it's done well. As long as it somehow fits in with the timeline or is an alternate timeline. It would have to make sense. Be like, yes, there's a thing going on in Burning Crusade right now, but there's also this still happening in the original world. You could do something like that, like a side story. Yeah, building, yeah, that's one way. Player housing. Why WoW doesn't have player housing? It's just, yeah. Well, that's, yeah. There's always that discussion, too. Yeah, I mean, if it works and it's viable, then I'm not against it. But don't rush it and don't force it. Those are two great. Don't rush or force anything. That's the worst. What other questions you guys have for me? That's pretty much all the questions I have, and I've covered all the content I wanted to cover as far as things you guys wanted to talk about. What did you guys want to? Did you guys want to go over anything or talk about anything? Because if not, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. Since yeah, and I'm sorry, we've done 2 hours now, so I'm definitely. Did I plan on? Yes, I'll probably have. I will probably have a. I'll have a hunter as an alt, and I'll probably have a warrior as well. That's my plan. The hunter will probably be the for my alt crew, my alt group. And then the warrior will probably just something I tinker around with as I go. Maybe I'll finally learn to tank. Right, we just asked that. I went through that. It was an Isaac question. But I guess, but I'll reiterate on it. I said that I wouldn't mind it as long as it's done well and it fit in with the current timeline. No, it's all right. You're good. I said it would. I wouldn't mind it if it. I wouldn't mind it if it fits in. Like you can't just force it. Like maybe it's like some story that's going on while the Burning Crusade is starting, but there's still something happening over here. But I could say like, or an alternate timeline somehow, something, I don't know. But as long as it works and the story works with like everything, it's not just forced and it's good content, then yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind it. But I feel like it would be very hard for them to pull off. But I would do it. I like Classic, but right now for me it's like let's just get done what we need to, what we got in front of us. There's a lot of stuff for us to do. Yeah. All right. And again, if anyone has any more questions, now's the time to ask. Moxie says, I want to thank you for building RE and for your vision and patience. We have an amazing group of members, and so yeah, I agree as well. Yeah, I do. It's been a long, long journey so far, and we haven't even done anything. You know, it's been a long journey. I started this guild in January. Was the day we opened our doors to members. January 16th was the day I opened the door to members. We're coming up on August 16th, which would be 7 months already, and we've grown exponentially. And it's just been there's a lot of good people in this guild, and it's gonna work. I know it's gonna work if everyone stays the course and sticks by our core values, we'll be good. Have I slept? Yeah, I actually have. Last night I didn't sleep too well, but I've been trying to sleep. All right, well, I think that's it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm just tired, and I think it's time that in the stream I'm gonna stop on the. I'll probably stop by the guild Discord in a little bit here, but in a couple minutes. But I thought it was a good show. I want to thank you guys for coming, and it was a good stream, and I do enjoy these, and I enjoy talking with you guys, and you guys know where you can find me. I always enjoy hanging out with you. And I know these get long, and I talk on and on and on and on, but I do love chatter. If you're in the stream and you're looking for a guild and you don't mind an RP server and you're a little bit older maybe, or you're a mature gamer, it might be what you're looking for. If you like this show, then it might be something you're looking for. Check us out, www.reguild.org. It's in the upper left corner there. And remember, if you want to get that guild merch that I showed you, it's really awesome. Buy something. There's the link to it right there. Check it out. We got some awesome random encounter swag. There's some new stuff on the store. New coffee mug design. We have beanbag chairs, fanny packs, tote bags. Someone just bought a tote bag today. So check it out. There's awesome new stuff. Hopefully stickers soon for your computer. That might be something. Your fridge. All right, guys. I'll see you later. I'm Hobbit Bilbo Man. I'm going to check you guys later. And until next time, Ishnu Daldieb. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye, guys.